Wendy. Don't you remember your favorite cousin?
When Sunny gets in too much trouble on Anodyne, she's sent to Earth to spend time with Gwen and her family, but her boyfriend Antonio follows. This plot is obviously a bit cliche, but not in the usual way that this show can be cliche. This feels very much like sitcom hijinks, which isn't very common amongst our alien adventures, so in that regard, it's a pretty unique episode. But that concept isn't enough to hold the episode together. On the other hand, the Dimension 12 robots are very Ben 10 standard cliche, and aren't worth mentioning past this sentence. Sunny is also presented to be allegedly more skillful and powerful than Gwen, but everything she does seems pretty small compared to what we've seen Gwen pull off before. I really wish Gwen having a fellow Anodyne cousin was a bigger deal, because this episode makes it feel very inconsequential, and thus less exciting. This episode goes exactly how you would expect it to, beat for beat, making it a chore to get through. Sunny's core personality seems entirely driven by lust.
Hello, boys.
I'm your cousin Ben.
Well, that's boring.
She's also harsh and antagonizing, but not in an entertaining way. Sunny feels like the writers were trying to do what they would eventually do with Sunny in Omniverse, but here it feels like a misfire. Everything about her seems to be driven by whatever will enforce more conflict, and less like a real person. Sunny looking like a clone of Gwen is actually a reference to the show Bewitched, where a character named Serena is also played by the main character in both roles, with a minor alteration between the two. But as this reference was lost among most fans, along with UAF's general tendency to reuse character models like No Tomorrow, this design came off as more of UA's unwillingness to push their art as far as Classic did, or Omniverse will do. Her outfit is at least different from Gwen's and not just a palette swap, but it's still within the same margin, so it's not that noticeable. And her face and hair are exactly like Gwen's, and with her also being voiced by Ashley Johnson, it's very hard to take her seriously as her own character. In fact, back on the note about sitcoms, all the characters seem to have a new level of corniness to them.
I have to stop a robot invasion of Earth.
If you're going out, take your cousin with you.
But Mom!
It's not that they feel flanderized, but everything is played up in a very TV sitcom kind of way, which probably has to do with the Bewitched influences. But even if there's an out-of-universe reason, it makes the characters feel less like themselves and more like a parody. Antonio isn't much help either, who can pretty much be summed up as
Antonio fights for love!
It was nice to see Verdona again though, but as this is her last appearance in the series, it makes her out to be a wasted character overall. The animation is passable, but there isn't anything to note. Sunny and Antonio's designs are bland, there aren't any exciting sets, and watching an ultimate alien struggle to defeat a walking joke really beats the series subtitle Ultimate Alien into the ground. Like just about every episode this season, it has no consequences going forward. And while the idea of Gwen having her own doppelganger is neat, this is a rather boring way to do it. I can see how a lot of people would start losing faith in Ultimate Alien this season. It's a shame that the series took so long to get back on its feet.
Okay, this is getting old.